I am your host, Nina Soul. This is season one, episode three. And today, you guys are joining us for today's show is spiritual gifts and mental illness. So, today, we're going to be talking about when a spiritualist may take it too far because of their own mental health. We're also going to be talking about people, spiritual healers working with people battling mental health issues and just our experiences with those things. We've also invited everybody to hop in on the comments section, share your own stories. If you guys would like to share your story privately, I do have Facebook pulled up here, and I would love to go ahead and share your story here live. Confidentiality. We will not share any names, any personal information for your own safety and for the safety of others. Again, today's show is going to be a little bit heavy, but our goal is to leave you guys aware, educated, and to know that there's this stuff is really going on. This stuff is really taking place. So, joining me today's show and today's guest, we have the lovely Stephanie Gold. Stephanie Gold is an espiritista. She's a medium. She's a paranormal investigator, and she offers these services to the Chicago area. So we're also going to get into asking Ms. Gold about her investigations, how she performs those, and maybe she can share a story with us or something later on in the show. So getting back to Stephanie's introduction, she has been assisting clients to connect with their loved ones who have passed since 2017. In 2005, she graduated Bible school and lived in Latin America and the Caribbean. Currently, she resides in Chicago, and she is a practitioner of Ifa and Espiritismo. Welcome, Stephanie Gold. Welcome,
Thank
sis.
you. Thank you.
We're
It's an
happy to
honor.
have you,
Thank you.
girl. And also joining us today, we have V. V is on her spiritual journey that began in February 14th, 2022, a life-changing date that set her on her path of healing, growth, and service. She is 41 years old, proudly Puerto Rican, born on the island and raised in the United States after moving as a young child to the tri-state area and on the East Coast. Bilingual in Spanish and English, she carries her cultural tools and life experiences in the spiritual work and share that she shares today. Um, let's see. She's growing her spiritual business, and she says growing her spiritual business. But you guys, if you guys have checked her Etsy out, it's not even growing from here. It's just she's got it all on there. So you guys definitely go check out her work. You guys can see some of her work behind her. Very dope artist. So definitely check out V. So she's also she does spiritual guidance on her TikTok as well. So if you guys are looking for spiritual guidance, if you guys are looking for mentorship, reach out to V. She'd be definitely she'd love to help you. So yeah, welcome to today's show, you
Thank you
guys.
for having me.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Good to
Thank
be
you. How's
back.
everybody? Yes, we missed you on our show last week, Steph. I know you weren't feeling good. I let everybody know that you were here in spirit, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate that most definitely.
So yeah, so I mean, today's topic I wanted to discuss this because I feel like there's a lot of people in the spiritual community also deal or battle with mental illness, and that can be from anything, minor to their own emotional regulation to you know more extensive things. And I know that we've all kind of had our experiences, not just with our clients and our customers, but even with our own mental health as well. And I wanted to have so the goal here at the roster is to have those hard to have discussions where we bring up topics and we talk about the hard things, and as a means of helping people know that it's not weird. You know, it's not out the normal to deal with some of these things. I just feel like we don't talk about it enough. there's not enough discussions about what to do or how to go about these things. And I want to just let everybody know before we get into our show that there is help out there. If you or a loved one is battling with mental illness, there is lots of different programs locally as well as nationwide. So you guys could definitely reach out to those. Don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. There is help out there.
For sure.
So let's see. I mean, Steph, like you had when I brought this topic up, girl, like you had just went through a whole like you went through a whole experience. I don't know if you want to if you want to kind of get to sharing about, if you want to share about clients or if you want to share that experience that just recently happened, but I feel like when I brought up the topic, that was like something that had just happened.
Right. No, I mean, thank you, for opening it up. And thank you for having this discussion because this has been something that I've been, trying to like promote to people to discuss this more. So thank you for making a space where we could come. Recently, I guess what just to reference what you're saying that I was visiting a local organization that provides resources for the community. And while I was there that day, I happened to have my sons with me, and somebody, one of the people, not not that worked for the organization, but that was there, went by and they threw like a cup of a liquid in me and my son's face, like milk. It ended up being milk.
Oh my God.
But I guess why I shared that is because you know, I have a background, like I mentioned before, in healthcare. So I'm a certified nursing assistant. Right now, I do home health, but previously, for the previous 2 years, I worked in a mental health institution. So I saw like all different type of different disorders, ranging from schizophrenia to people who might just be depressed, people that seemed combative, and so that's not something that bothers me. I don't hold that person at fault. If anything, I definitely wanted to defend my son when that happened, but at the end of the day, mental illness is real, and we can't be out here saying that mental health matters and that we're here to, hold space and create space for people and all this type of buzzwords, when in reality, a lot of times, like, we have those interactions with people, who have those challenges, and it's easy to just be like, oh, write that person off or just say like they're crazy, or um just try, I feel that, to put yourself as an empathetic person, as an empath, put yourself in their shoes. Somebody who has visual and auditory, what are called hallucinations, what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Imagine living daily life. Just trying to, daily life is already hard. Just getting up and getting on. Imagine just trying to live your life and also seeing and hearing things. So I think there's a real lack of compassion and empathy in the spiritual community regarding people who have really serious mental illness. And one thing I want to add too is that those people are not unspiritual. Working at a facility like that showed me very closely that people who suffer from mental health issues are some of the most spiritually in tuned people. But the
Mhm.
problem is they're like what they call that, a square and a round peg. They don't fit our societal standards of what an individual should behave and present themselves as. So again, they get written off. But if you listen to people like that have those disorders and they're talking, they're making some sense a lot of
Yeah.
times with what they're talking. You know what I'm saying? So there is sense in there, and those are human beings who experience life and sometimes just experience it so intensely. So I personally would like to see kind of more of that discussion open up, that people think that if you have schizophrenia or bipolar, or you present with one of those diagnoses, that your spirituality side, it can be written off as just mania or hallucinating. But those people are oftentimes just so close between the two, I feel like two realms, that it's overwhelming for them, I guess. So that's how I would like to start off with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we like is there's a lot of things that we go through, and as spiritualists, it's like we feel things on so many different levels. Like it's not just like the physical, the emotional, like no, it's there's the energy, there's there's people that are seeing things in different dimensions at one time, and that can be a really scary place for somebody to be seeing those things, feeling those things, hearing them, like it's real what they're experiencing. So yeah, I'm glad that we're talking about that and that you brought that up. I also feel like like when we're talking about, like, for example, like schizophrenia, like what are your when like do you have a spiritual theory when it comes to that?
I just feel that those are souls, that those are living beings who are very exposed to to the how do you say, the veil, how people call it, the veil,
Mhm.
between this realm and everything that we do and going to the grocery store and stuff. There's a veil between this realm and the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? And I feel like they walk almost just very like if you had a wound on your hand and it was exposed, and every time you try to grab something like a blister, and every time you try to grab something, it's going to sting, it's going to hurt. So I feel that they have a very powerful but also a very painful existence, and that
Right.
nobody understands what they're really experiencing. And it's interesting because something that I learned is that in other countries, people with schizophrenia who hear voices oftentimes hear voices that are like more of a playful nature. Whereas
Mhm.
in the United States, people in general who have schizophrenia hear more threatening voices.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really
that is
interesting. And I think,
interesting.
yeah, it's like the toxic environment that we have in this, what we're living, it does also affect that. And then people are given medications that also, kind of like mute them in a lot of ways. And if you're taking something that's making you drowsy, that you can't barely stay awake, that you're drooling on yourself now, that you're shuffling around, I mean, it's just like they don't know how to deal with that person's gifts, so they throw them away. In the Native American culture, from my understanding, what I read is that they would take that person, and that's the person that they would consecrate and train and work with. That's who the shaman, who the healer will work with, was the person that was deemed mentally ill, because that person was seeing vision. So we don't do that in the Western society. We, hide that. We hide mental illness. We push it away. We put it in institutions. And when we close the institutions, we just make them homeless. And then we arrest them
Mhm.
for being homeless.
For being
You know
homeless,
what I'm
right?
saying? So
Right.
nobody, and then
Yeah.
we drug them to the point where they don't even know what day or time it is if they wanted to. So really, Western civilization, in my opinion, and colonialism has done everything that they can to destroy any inkling of spirituality, and
Yes.
connection with the divine. So
Yes. Yes. I agree. I just want to go ahead and say another disclaimer. You guys, I'm probably going to be putting disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Disclaimer, we are not here on the Rowdy roster. We are not suggesting that anybody discontinue their medication. We are not suggesting that people substitute spirituality for medical guidance or advice. We are not doctors. This is just us giving our spiritual take on these issues. So I feel like incorporating spirituality with mental health, like you can definitely incorporate them, but until you get to the point of being balanced and it being healthy enough to start to slowly remove yourself from certain things, with proper support and proper people knowing what you're doing, always communicate with the people around you, communicate with your loved ones, your friends, the closest people to you, and let them know, hey, I'm on this journey right now, this is what I'm. And some people might think that you're crazy, but hey, they already think that, like, you know what I'm saying, they
For
already
real.
think that you're on a mission. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
make sense for other people. That's the
yeah,
other thing, is everybody gonna think any time that it's something doesn't make sense to them, you're gonna be looked at like you're crazy. So
yeah,
just there's safe ways of doing things, and we just want to suggest that everybody here go about doing things safely. V,
Yeah.
What story you got to bring to the panel today? What are we talking
So
about?
first things first, what Stephanie was talking about, I heard of that, and I think I saw it in the documentary. I love documentaries when it has to do with mental health, when it has to do with like killers and crime and stuff like that, because I want to know what pushes your buttons up here. Why do you think the way you think, right? Like, so what she said is very true. The schizophrenia diagnosis out here is a diagnosis of you being local, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pero in reality, I've also heard, right, on the flip side that they take them like she said, and they actually if you actually get that person like you said, Nina, balanced, right? You balance them out, you take them off medication, right? First of all, you balance them out, right? You give them a safe environment, and you actually like kind of validate for them that what they're, you know what I'm saying, what you're seeing and hearing is real. It's not a game, and make them feel safe. I promise you that's your next shaman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, because these people are between worlds, but out here, like she said, very true. They demonize it, right? They demonize it. Now, with my story, oh boy. Okay, so even as a child, right? In my teenage years when I was growing up, all they did was medicate me. I was on 3 different pills, right? They said I was bipolar. They said I was depressed. And yeah, sure, I was depressed. I was crying. I was going through things, right? Because I didn't really have a family. So I was taking care of myself and I didn't understand how to do that, but I was doing it the best way I could at my teenage mind, right? And I kept getting in trouble and all kinds of stuff. My anger was all over the place. I would lash out. I would knock on people's door. I'm still like that, but it's calmed down, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I've leveled out. There's a plateau now, right? I can actually deal with my feelings to a point that is a little better than before. But they put me on Depakote, Risperdal, and something else. I want to say Prozac.
Mm.
When I tell you, when my when my PO used to come see me in the school, because he used to come inside the school to come see me, check on me. I used to be knocked out, just like Stephanie said, on the desk. And I'm talking about teachers teaching and obviously my classmates. V, get up. Your PO's at the door. And all you see is this, my PO is this tall dude, him standing in the doorway, like, and I'm like, And I used to be so tired, guys, tired to the point because of the medication,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he used to be like, why are you sleeping? Why am I not? You got me drugged to the T. Like I can't function, let alone sit here in a classroom where I'm not doing much, right? I fall asleep. So I would fall asleep in class. I would barely make it to school. I was always in trouble because it was the pills that was too heavy, right? Because of my diagnosis according to them. According to them, I was bipolar. I could see it, but that doesn't mean that I'm crazy. I
Right.
could see that I was depressed, but that doesn't mean that I'm crazy, right? Because of my circumstances and what was going on, and me not being able to deal with my feelings at that moment as a teenager, not knowing why my mom left, why my father's like this, why he hates me, all this other stuff, right? Like being in the environment that I was, having to provide for myself as a 14, 15-year-old kid. Like, of course I'm depressed. I don't even know about money yet. Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm just trying to
Yeah.
buy my stuff that I need. Like, as a young lady growing up, getting your stuff, getting your things so you could be able to live, right? And everybody deems you as disrespectful, depressed, and all kinds of stuff. I had to attend weekly anger meetings so I can, I guess, according to them, manage it, right? To make it manageable. But in all, to be honest with you guys, like all these programs that I was on, and no matter what I did, at the end of the day, it was still inside of me. The only relief I found, guys, was when I woke up to spirituality. And when I woke up, it was kind of violent. Like I said, like it was the vision. So I thought I was going crazy. Again, I thought my mental health, I was like, I done lost my motherfucking mind. You hear me? Like I lost my marbles. What the fuck did I just see? right? And then you go back to the, like Nina said earlier, people look at you like you crazy. The first person I wanted to tell was my best friend, and my best friend was like looking at me, looking at her wife, like I was nuts, like, and no lie, for like a good 4 to 6 weeks after that, we were talking through text, and I kept seeing her text messages, like thinking like, you need help, right? And I'm like, but I don't need help. I know what I saw. Like, you know how you have like all the Claires, right? So
Mhm.
Claire Goodsons, Claire Sentient, like I felt what she, and through her text, I felt what she was trying to do, right? Like I felt like she was trying to set me up.
Mhm.
And this was after my awakening. So I'm still a baby, fresh out the womb, not knowing nothing about spirituality, trying to find grip in my
Oh,
life because,
you're fresh out the spiritual womb, girl.
right. And I was like, bro,
Yeah.
I must be going nuts, right? Like the only thing that, you know, when spirit say that they guide you, it's weird, real weird, because I always thought that, like, how you gonna do that? Right? Like, but now looking fast forward 3.5 years later, all the shit that I know, right? And I know now because spirit guided me to get this, get that, go on this YouTube, go to this person's page, right? Go here on YouTube. Or they would just put the shit on the social media. Like, spirit is amazing. I would
Mhm.
go into a bookstore and I'll be drawn to a section, and I would say, "Oh, I want to read this." I used to have books, like boxes of books. I don't have them anymore. I'm starting to build up my book collection again. But in the beginning, I bought from this person on TikTok. I really liked his aura, his energy. It was a guy. He had a website, and he had a website of this book about your auric field and stuff like that. It was like this thick, 2 packets that I had to print out. This thick of that information, and I started to read, and I started to understand. You understand? Like, spirit really guides you, and you don't even be knowing. You just think it was just you, and it's not. It's spirit guiding you. Now, from then till now, I really know now that I wasn't ill. I was not
Mhm.
ill. Was I depressed? Yes. I didn't deal with my feelings. I didn't know how
The
to
emotions.
process. I didn't
Mhm.
know how to, like, spirituality got me to the place where I can finally process my feelings the right way. You understand? Because in American society, everything's here. Take a pill. You know what I'm saying? Everything's here. Why do you think alcohol is legal? Right? Like, it just brought
Mhm.
that. I just got that in my mind. Alcohol is legal because they want you to suppress everything. Like, yes, it's one thing to drink and one thing to abuse. I don't have nothing against nobody who does anything. You do what you want. It's your life, right? But if you do it too much, what are you essentially doing? You're
Right.
suppressing and eating your emotions. I did that. I was drinking. I went to Jamaica and came back with 4 bottles. Those 4 bottles were gone in a month. That's a bottle a week.
Wow.
I'm short. I'm 5'2". That I shouldn't be drinking that much. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I was killing myself physically because I thought all my shit was just suppressed, and it was just like, I thought that was the way out, right? That was the way out. When I did drugs, that was the way out. I didn't want to feel shit. And that
Mhm.
was perfect for me. I didn't want to feel anything. I just wanted to feel. But now I don't have any of that in my life, and I can actually process, right? I
Mhm.
process. I actually can let out my emotions properly, cry. Like, crying is a spiritual cleansing that I didn't do before. Yes, I
Mhm.
did cry, but it wasn't like the way I do now. Now I process, I cry, I write, I journal,
You
I do
reflect.
things that I didn't do before,
Mhm.
And it's not the way to just shove pills down your throat and call it a day. Because they said I was sick, and I wasn't sick. I was just holding my emotions in my vessel, which has led to pain, physical pain, ailments that I never knew that I could get because of all the issues in my body that I'm holding. When you hold on to anger, it gives you problems. Anger gives
Mhm.
you fucking cancer. Like, and people
Mhm.
don't really relate it to one another. Like, I
Yes.
I was in a point in my life that I couldn't forgive certain things. I was angry, right? And spirituality taught me if you don't release those things, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You're
That's
going to.
that's why they say that saying of forgive them for you, not for them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So many people are like, how could you even like wow, but it's for real. Like if you harbor that energy, it
Correct.
manifests.
It
Our DNA is made up of lots of little cells. So for those of you that are putting jars of water out in the moonlight to charge it up, girl, know that your whole body is like that glass of water. And
Right.
whatever you have around it is what's charging it. Keep that in mind when you think about water. Our bodies are made up a majority of water.
Right.
So if you see that that is true, if you're taking that jar out there next full moon, you taking your jar out there with your crystals, know that that's exactly how your body works as well. Your DNA works just like water.
Right. And knowing that your DNA actually expands, and that's something I learned in the beginning as well with that thick ass book. That we're literally
It's always
changing.
changing. It's always
We're
changing.
changing our
Mhm.
helix. Like, and the DNA is
Yep.
comprised of however many chromosomes, blah blah blah, right? We know what it looks like. DNA is a helix, right?
Mhm.
We are literally breaking it. It's like when you go to the gym and you want biceps,
You got to
right? The
push through
same
that
thing with
shit.
spirituality,
Yeah.
and it changes you from the blood all the way out, and that is the reason why this is my life now, and I will never
Mhm.
go anywhere else. Never. I love
And
it here.
yeah, and I feel like also part of because I had a like my past was very similar to what how you were describing B of your like your childhood growing up and stuff. And I feel like part of that is like us dealing with all those emotions. Our brains haven't caught up to that yet. Our brains are still growing.
Right.
So the fact that you weren't able to like you had to figure these things out as you grew, like how to take care of yourself and all those things. It's like your brain wasn't even caught up with your emotions yet, so how to process your own emotions, those are the things that are the adults and our elders in our lives are responsible to help us to learn how to regulate those things.
Right.
So
That
if
wasn't
you're
there.
never taught, yeah, if you didn't have that, and I hope that parents that are listening to this show, whether it be right now or if you guys are listening to like the pre-recorded or whatever, check in with your kids. Like ask them how they're doing, ask them how their day went, ask them how they're feeling, ask them about their feelings, ask them how things made them feel. How did that make you feel? How did you deal with that? And give your children guidance, give them advice because you're forming them for the world, and you don't want the world taking advantage, you don't want the world victimizing your child. And right now, while your child is in your home, you still have the ability to prepare them for the world that we live in.
Correct. Correct.
And Steph, and you're a mom, girl. How and your baby was involved in this situation. Like, how do you what are some ways that you feel even right now with like how things are going on in the schools and stuff like that? Like, how are
Mhm.
your children, or how are you helping as a mother? How are you helping your children to make sure that their mental health is good and making sure that emotionally they're well when you send them to school and when you pick them up?
Right, right. So I mean, it's a challenge, I'm not gonna lie, personally, because they deal with things now that we didn't deal with back then, in certain aspects. So once I drop them off at the school, first and foremost, spiritually, I pray like right when I get up in the morning, and I have different rituals and stuff that I do to ensure that they're like protected and that they have a good day. As far as their mental health, I think like looking at the basic needs, just it's important to me that they ate a meal, that they're clean, that they shower, that their space, and that they take care of their area, their environment, how they present themselves. I've tried to teach them all of that, and I've taught them as because I have sons that it's okay to cry, it's okay to not be
Mhm.
okay, it's okay to be upset or be embarrassed or be angry, that all of these things are natural emotions. We can't stop our feelings. We don't choose our feelings. I mean, if that was the case, we would always choose to feel amazing. Our feelings happen to us, and it's how we respond, not react, that determines a lot. So I try and teach them that yes, somebody spoke to you a certain way or however, and you were angry. That is normal for you to feel angry. However, you can't react in a way that's going to be violent or however, because then you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. So
Mhm.
I try and teach them different techniques about calming down, walking away, knowing when to walk away. And just basically, I heard a long time ago, it's an Iranian proverb, but it says that you can't stop birds from flying over your head. Okay, you cannot stop birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from making a nest in your hair. And so
Aw,
I try and I
I
try
love
and
aw.
tell
that.
my
I love that.
I try
That's
and
so
tell
cute.
no, it is like kind of funny when you think about it, but that's what I try and remind my kids and my
Mhm.
clients and my own self when it came to my own mental health, having intrusive thoughts or however, hey, I can't stop these feelings or these thoughts from coming there, but I can stop it from dominating my life and that once I get that thought, it's like a radio station. I don't like this song. I don't like what's playing. I'm gonna change the channel. So I just try and do as much as I can to implement that, validating their feelings, talking with them when they get home. Because a lot of time as parents, something I've learned is that we always ask the kid, "Did you have fun? You went over here. Did you have fun? You went there. Did you have fun?"
Yeah.
Why do we always ask them that? Why do we ask them, "What did you like about it? What did you not like? What happened over there?" So I think more when we kind of like realize that they are little people who are forming, and that they do experience feelings and that they don't even understand the world around them like we do, the level that we do, that is scary. And just remembering how it felt at that age. So just trying to make mental health always at the forefront, talking to them at dinner about, what are their challenges, what are their fears, and letting them know that it is okay to talk about things and it's okay not to feel okay, but that we have to take accountability also for our own actions and different things that we can do to calm our mind. Because, sis, in our religion of Ifa, everything is about our ori. Like we
Mhm.
can give offerings and we can pray to Shango Kabiosile, to
Right.
every other spirit. We can do for everybody and they will be thankful and they will take it. But our Ori is what we stay with from our whole time of our
Mhm.
time of
Our
conception
creation. Yeah,
until
our whole
yes.
creation from previous lives to
Hmm.
this one. Our worries have
Yeah.
been with us.
So I try now to definitely pray to my Ori and just to kind of keep that mindset because again, we talk about European ways of thinking. That way of thinking is that our soul is like our heart, which is nice, I guess, whatever, but our soul is really like everything's here,
Mhm.
the battlefield and this kind of conflict that we have where I just saw something this morning, people that talk to themselves, it's that their brain does not feel safe talking to other people. So they talk to themselves. So the brain becomes both the speaker and the observer and the listener. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like we're
Mhm.
our brains and the way that they work, scientists still don't understand
Mhm.
how the brain works, how dreams work. So it's a lot out there that we don't have control over, but we can do certain practices and techniques that will definitely empower us while we're on our journey right now.
Mhm. And I love that you brought that up, sis, because when I'm doing limpias, when I'm doing spiritual cleansings on any of my clients, like the first thing that I do is I speak to their ori. Like I speak to their ori, I ask their ori for permission to work with me. As far as releasing and helping the client let go of any energies that it's holding on to that does not serve their purpose of their alignment. So that's a conversation that I have prior to even performing like a spiritual cleansing, because like you said, we do value that crown so much. Like we value that ori so much, and honor it. And it's important to honor it. And because it has been with us for so long, like we have to make sure that we set boundaries for anybody that tries to come into it to make us question who we are, or to make us feel insecure about who we are, what we're doing, or what we're thinking, or what we're feeling. I noticed that happens a lot within the spiritual community as well, within any community, but it happens a lot to spiritualists because we have like, there's so many knowings, there's downloads, there's intuition, there's the energy that speaks to us. There's, for me, like, I incorporate reading body language along with my intuition. So
Hmm. Me
there's a
too.
lot of things I pick up on, a lot of things. And I've had to learn how to I've had to learn acceptance, because I feel like that's a major, it's a major one that has kind of gotten me into like where I felt like I've struggled with my own mental health within my life, is not learning acceptance, not learning that, knowing when to let it go, and how important that is, like letting it go. Because back in the day, like, I was when I was young, I was 14 and I drank a lot. I drank a lot, like, it was real bad. And I was very violent. I used to love to fight. And that's how I was brought up. Like, I was brought up very, I was brought up like that by, both my mom and my dad. They raised me to, like, my dad, I think, because he knew I was so small, like, he raised me to be ready for the world. There's people that are going to try to, they're going to try to check you, they're going to try to pick on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to learn how to fight. Then there's my mom, where, what I'm saying, like, my mom get the last lick all the time. Like, my mom's very, so these were the people that had raised me. So I had grown up with a lot of, there was a lot of anger, because not knowing how to express my own feelings, not knowing how to piece feelings together, and feeling like nobody understand, even when I was able to piece it together. Like, this is how I'm feeling. There wasn't, those things weren't conversations that we had in the house. It was more, would you, like, my dad really focused on my education. What'd you learn today? And then and so that was with him. But other than that, I was never asked how I felt. I was never asked, nothing like that. And I was a very quiet kid. And that's another thing, is that if your child is overly, like, just fucking silent and just doesn't talk, there's a lot going on. I promise you, there's a lot of conversation going on within that child, because that's how I was. I was quiet outside, but there was a lot going on inside. It's just, there, like, after a while, it almost becomes like military training, where you just stop feeling, and you just go, and you just, like, you don't think about how you feel. You don't connect to those feelings, because you got to clean the house, you got to get ready, you got to show up at work, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's, so much of our responsibilities takes away from having that moment with ourselves. And especially for those of us that learned how to, like, you could just get your ass whipped and you had to fix your face, because, like, they just whooped your ass in the car.
Pretty
Fix your
much.
face. Fix your face.
And
Fix
that's
your
what
face,
I was gonna
motherfucker.
mention that too, because we do something like, if you look at it, we're breaking generational curses, because my parents, for as much as they loved me and as much as they tried, they didn't apologize after they lost their temper with me. They didn't apologize after disciplining me if maybe they went too far. And that is something that I try and do, like with my sons. I do say, I'm sorry. Like, I had a rough day today. That's not your fault. Like, you're a child. Like,
Mhm.
excuse me for, getting irritated at whatever, because that's on us now to fix it. So it's like, yeah, our generation definitely, our parents did not, they wasn't no, it's
They
like, that's
didn't
how it's gonna
play.
be, and period.
Mhm.
Like, don't ask no questions, and you're
Right.
ungrateful if otherwise. So
Right.
I think kind of not letting the kids walk all over you by any means, but also acknowledging that sometimes you're expecting a really higher standard from the kids than even you can fulfill, and that's not good for their mental health either. So, and also something with my kids, you talked about when kids are spiritual, it's also important. And when people in general with mental, I think we don't talk about grounding enough, because part of what we're going to mention is, how do you know that it's too far? For example, like, say someone is a spiritualist and that they start, saying that they're having certain visions or dreams or hearing. What is your red flag, sis, that it might be something that instead of, that you might need to take that person to the side and like try and get them some extra help? Or how can you tell that difference? Because as mediums, you know, we do stuff that other people would think is crazy. Like we let
Mm-hmm.
spirits come into our physical
Mm-hmm.
body and speak through us, to
Mm-hmm.
our clients. And that to the regular world looks insane. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or like the things, the way that we see things, or the way that we hear things. So that's why I said grounding yourself to me is important, and kind of keeping that balance, because we have to keep a balance walking on this earth in this realm, and also being like translation in the spiritual realm. But like, what is your red flags for, like, you feel like someone got too caught up, or like they're doing the most, or that they could like it could be a dangerous situation?
Well, so like with my feeling, I feel like we all got something. I feel like all of us, we all somebody all got something. We all got something. Ain't nobody, because if you had like if you had a life that even some people that is like, well, my parents have always been married, they're still together, my childhood was good, blah blah blah. But then all of a sudden we get to talking more and come to find out dad was never home because he was always at work, mom was always distant and was always in a bad mood, so everybody deals with their own. It's like they would think, well, I had a good life because I was provided for, my parents were together. But all of a sudden, like, we started talking, you got abandonment issues, you got neglect issues, you got issues with communication, you didn't feel loved. Like there's a lot of traumas just with people that think that they had an okay life in comparison to others. But we can't compare one person's life that had a terrible, horrible life to another person that it wasn't so bad, because when we think about it, we were all kids when we went through this. No child deserves none of those types of treatments. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the people that I know that I can't work with, when, like how you said, when it's almost like a feeling of they might be a little too far, are the ones that develop that God complex. I can't. When they want to talk
Yeah.
about they're a demigod, I'd be like, girl, like, I'm sorry, but I've dealt with I was involved with somebody like that romantically. And I can say honestly, when people start talking like that, that's when I'm like, oh, you're not for me as a client, as a friend, as anything more. Because that is something that I don't have. I know that because um I've worked very hard on not, like, not being reactive like how I used to back in the day. But I can't say that that part of Nina is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get rid of that part of Nina, because that
It's
part of
still
Nina,
there. I
that
promise you.
she,
It's still
that,
there.
you know what I'm saying? But that part of Nina was created because Nina didn't have anybody to protect her.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not
Me
gonna give
too.
that part up. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like no, like that's me. What I'm going to do though is I'm gonna know who I can't be around and who's gonna bring that part of me out. So for me, it's um those who feel like they're superior, that want to kind of bring you down as a means of like control, like narcissists, girl, that's the type of spiritual illness, no,
Yeah.
mental, spiritual and mental illness that I can't even, I can't. And I'm still working on how to um because I feel like that's a code. Like narcissism is like a code, almost like if you're looking at one of those combination locks. I'm
Right.
still trying to
Yeah,
crack that combination because
yeah,
they're presented very often. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, the universe is telling me I need to find out what that code is. So and I feel like, okay, like I'm starting to learn that as I go, and starting to know how to respond to it for myself, and that might just be me just completely starting to like disassociate to protect me,
Yeah.
but what I've also noticed too is that in relationships, people will, especially like, okay, let's get back into talking a little bit, like, for example, divination within Ifa, within our religion, sis. Like, we know that we can bring certain people there to witness our guidance, and sometimes those people that are witness to our guidance will use that guidance as a means to control us. So there's also spiritual manipulation, spiritual control, and that is also, it's like somebody with mental illness, when they get their hands on spirituality, they can work that shit like a little puppet. So those are the things that you got to be careful of, because you think that because somebody is a spiritualist, that they can't be that evil person. But just like with anything, there's a duality. As much as there is good people, there's also equivalent. There needs to be another side, another team. So when we think about that, and I talk about spiritual chess, when you think about our team and our team members and what we're able to do and our moves we're able to make, just know that there's a line in the sand where there's a whole nother team with people that are just like you, but they're the darker versions of you. And I don't mean darker as in, I mean more malevolent, malevolent,
Malevolent.
Malevolent. Yeah.
malevolent,
Mhm.
Yeah.
more malevolent than you. And sometimes that's your duality. That's even within yourself. We have our own duality too. There's the light side and there's the dark side. There's the duality, it's
Balance.
the yin and yang, it's the balance. But the goal is not to get rid of one. The goal is to know when to use them.
Right.
That's why when you look at that old school yin yang, when you look at that, it has the dark in the middle. There's a little light circle. It has the light in the middle. It's a little dark circle, because you need both. It's just knowing how to flow within both of them. You gotta know how to flow within both of them. You don't know how to flow, girl, you're gonna get knocked around.
Yeah, for
Right.
real.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get
And
knocked
that's
around.
so true, Nina. Like what you said about, because it happened to me. Because I thought I came into spirituality. I thought everybody was great, and I'm
Mm,
gonna have a great time. And
Ay, Dios mío.
listen,
I wish.
and that's the things that I had to learn. Like spirit will put you in these situations where you're just like you said, the narcissism. There's two types, maybe three. I don't know about the third one, but covert and overt. There's two different
Mm.
types. One you can tell right away that motherfucker, stay your ass over there, right? And then there's another one that hides it very well. And you will not notice. You got to give them like, I want to say anywhere from like, I want to say from like 8 to 10 weeks for them to their mask to start slipping, right? And you
Hmm.
start to, like you said, you read body language. I'm very good at that too, and I got very good at patterns, right? Because of the bullshit, right? That
Hmm.
bullshit. Because when I
Hmm.
came into, I wanted friends. I wanted colonies of
Girl,
friends, right? That
you
were
thought you
all
just found the
spiritual.
heaven for a gangster and shit. Like,
You know, like
you
when I
thought.
finally came to the realization that like there's people that are gonna actually befriend you to attack you, like that shit was crazy to me. And that there's still, like you said, they'll pick spirituality just to get like cultivated in that culture, so to speak, right? And then they'll use it against you. Like I got two stories for that one. There
Yeah.
was two women that did that to me. Manipulation. Not only did they, that's why I learned tarot. And I believe I told you
Mm.
the story before. Like, that's why I learned tarot. That's why I learned how to read. Now I got cards probably by the hundreds because I had to learn. Because somebody manipulated me through tarot. They were telling me all kinds of lies.
Mm.
And I didn't know the meaning of the cards. I was just like, for real? Like, I believe them because when you go to someone that's a medium or whatever, you actually trust, you put your faith in these people. Like, and in my mind, being a baby in the spiritual, like I was like, yay, I'm getting guidance. Bullshit, bitch. You're getting fucked up. You're getting attacked, right? You're getting manipulated, and on top of that, like it just the levels keep going, right? And then people attack you because they know who you are, they can see who you are, right? And I had to learn all that. I got smacked the fuck up, first of all, spiritually, like, and I want to say, like, not that I ever fucking intended to like be like everybody's great. Like I thought, yeah, at one point, oh my god, I'm in a new world, right? I felt like a kid in a candy store.
Mm-hmm.
But like I forgot the fact that people are in this as well that can be very dark and they don't have the duality and they just want to stay in the dark, because they want to harm people, do things that they shouldn't be doing, like and manipulate people, do magic on people that they shouldn't be doing, right? And try to just take your essence from you. Girl, I felt like a damn prune after these two hoes. I was like, I'm over it. I don't even want to like, where can I press the finish button on this lesson, right? But I eventually got like I started learning, right? But these are situations as well, like how spirit guided me to that thick ass book. Here, let's guide you in here, right? For learning purposes, and also free will comes into play too, because I thought she was, I guess, a good guidance, a good person that I could get guidance from. But that's where we fuck it up at. We don't. I didn't have my discernment sharpened enough for me to even start doing that yet. And my free will was all over the place. I want readings. I just had dollar bills. You feel me? I
Mm-hmm.
want to see what I want to work on. Wee, like, right? And it's just like that's where like my discernment had to start to sharpen at some point, right? And then we have to start being careful on who we rely on. And now I'm iffy about everybody. Like
Right.
everybody. Well, because like of these experiences, my discernment has sharpened, right? But I'm also not like I was in the beginning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hi, how you doing? Like, I'm just like, hi. And I'll watch, I'll sit and I'll study. I won't just be like, here, have my money. Like I used
Right.
to. Like it used to be different. It used to be like let's say I go, let's say like a holistic fair, for
Mm-hmm.
example, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love holistic fairs. Like you go in there and there's fucking little tents everywhere. That's how I felt when I came into spirituality. I wanted to go to every tent. No, bitch, don't go to every tent.
Don't go to
Just pick the
everything.
tents that call to you. You feel me? Like I was
uh
just like I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to talk to everybody because I was like a little kid again in the candy store. Like now I'm a little hesitant. That tent, I don't think I like that tent. Let's skip that tent. Let's go over here.
right.
Like you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's just, and that woke me up a lot to a whole different side. But it's really important to use discernment in the spiritual community because a lot of people think that everybody's a good reader or everybody wants to actually guide you the right way. And it's not like that. Just some people are really out here trying to take your money. And
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that. Again, like it goes back to like, damn, like I really went all out, like happy as fuck, trying to meet everybody, being all happy. And
I
now
feel
it's
like
like
I
now
feel
I'm more
like
reserved.
too, yeah, I feel like too, like sis, like when we first got into IFA and we started working with the Orishas, I feel like we had our moments too where we got overly excited and we want to go to every botanica and we got we
Right,
want to, we
right.
want to get all our initiations right away and oh, let me get my warriors, let me get,
Yeah, of course. I mean, because you're
I feel like you
excited
get
about it.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it just remind me, like, also not to bring up the Bible, but how our previous discussion, the Bible does have some. They drop some bars in there, but I like.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, sis.
No, there's one that always comes to mind when we're talking about stuff like this, and it says, "Gifts come without repentance." So that means that somebody, just because gifts, spiritual gifts, we all have that capacity. Every human walking this earth, with the spirit and a soul. Right now, we're three spirits talking. We're just in bodies, you know what I'm saying? But we all spiritual. We all have the ability to have gifts of the spirit. What you might not have, though, is that doesn't mean that you have the fruits of the spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, understanding. You know what I'm saying? So be wary. That's what it taught me, is to just be careful because you will see people, especially when you're in that stage that y'all were talking about where you're brand new and you see these people with these powerful gifts, and you know what I'm saying, you want to get close to them because you admire them and you respect
Right.
them and you want to learn from them. And a lot of times them be the same people that knock you down, that talk
Let's
about you,
speak
and you
upon that.
really see that shininess come off. You're like, wow, you know what, you do have a powerful gift, but you don't know how to talk to people, or you know what I'm saying, have this issue or that. And that's why people say, be careful when you put people on a pedestal or you admire them too much. And I think the beauty in that, there's not a sadness. The beauty is that we all are touched by the spiritual, and that you're actually a lot more powerful than you thought, because you was putting all these people on a pedestal. Meanwhile, the very people you were putting on a pedestal might have even been envious of you and
For
your
sure.
power and your connection with spirit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So later on, you realize that, and then you start putting it into your own self,
Girl.
girl. It's
That
Yes,
part.
beautiful.
girl.
That part,
Yes,
Stephanie. That
yes.
part. I
That
think
Right.
that's
part.
what it was
That
with me with
part.
the gym. That part.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
That
you. Thank
part.
you.
Now I
Yeah,
got the
and you know the other
explanation.
thing is that they're able to like the people that are already already in spirituality, they can pick up, especially the narcissist ones. They can pick up on people who are excited and new, because when you like, I feel like that's something that like I had learned. Like I've always kind of known that, but Baba really like in like he put that in my head, is to be careful when you go to a botanica, because those people, like they're tapped in too. They can pick up on, oh, if you're new to this, if you don't know certain things, like, and then when they know that you don't know something, now they know that they got you, because now they're gonna go ahead and tell you, oh, you need this, you need that, you got a spirit attached to you. Before
Yeah.
you know it, girl, before you know it, you getting smacked around with a rooster you didn't even need to get smacked with.
Yo, for real.
you
Emptying your bank
you
account, all
your
types
bank
of
account
stuff.
is looking
Crazy.
empty. You just bought a plain white candle with no ache,
Right.
like
From the Dollar Tree.
from Dollar Tree, girl. Oh
Right.
my God.
That's
You get
crazy.
taken advantage of. So if you are new to spirituality, I highly recommend that when you go places, especially to shop, especially to businesses, ask your mentor to go with you, ask your elder to go with you, ask, if you have a friend that's kind of been already doing this, ask that friend to go with you, because a lot of times when you go into these places, um there they look at you like you're a walking dollar sign.
It's like you're
And
at a used car lot and you're
yeah,
there. Like my partner, she got not mad at me, but she's like, be careful, because I'm the type, I get excited. So we go look at a new apartment. I'm like right in front of the leasing agent. I'm like, oh, I love it. It's so big. And or I go look at a new car. I'm like, oh, I like this one. She's like, chill with that for a minute, because they're gonna see that excitement and they're gonna be like, I got this. This is easy
yeah.
sale. I'm gonna sell this to her fully loaded and all that. And it's the same with the spirit. Just like you said, we walk in the Botanica, we're all eager to learn. And unfortunately, people do see that little walking dollar sign and they will take advantage of us for that. So
Mhm. Mhm.
Yo, Nina, when you
What
when you
happened?
said about getting smacked with a rooster, listen. I had an experience. I just want to add to that. Listen, a long time ago, like I was in spirit, I wasn't woken up, I was in spiritual, but I had a friend, right? And it might be Ifa. I don't know what practice she was doing. Okay,
Uh-huh.
all I know is that she took me down into a basement. Okay,
That's usually where I'm like, I'm like,
listen.
okay, okay.
When she took me down into that basement, she was just like, just sit right there on the couch. It was dark. There was like some lights, like the ones you got on your wall, something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Man, I saw the whole thing. There was a fucking chicken flying. He grabbed that thing by the legs and just started swinging it around her body. And I was stressed the fuck out. Okay? I was stressed the fuck out for the next 7 days because I don't know what was
Oh.
going on. And I was like, am I allowed to move? Am I allowed to like get out of here? Like, I need the exit stage left. I don't know what this is. Like, to me, it could be anybody spiritual, but that to me was like, what do we do? Because then he killed it, and I don't know what happened. And I was just like, is this bad? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, and I'm just like, why is this chicken squawk? Why'd you grab the chicken? Like, chicken is like, blah, 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 all over the
Uh,
place, and she's just like standing still, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? What did she get me into? Right? I
and you
didn't
didn't
ask
know what you were
questions.
walking into?
No, she was just, we were always together.
Oh,
Like, you know
okay.
what I'm saying? She was one of those people in my life when I was in my teenage years. Like, we did a lot of things together, like we smoked together, we did this
She
together,
was
we did
so
that together.
comfortable with you being there, so she could get her, she could do her Ebo.
I don't know what is that? Do y'all know what that is? Can y'all explain what I saw? Because I still don't know what I saw. Like, I was
It
stressed
sounded
out.
like she was getting some type of cleansing
A
because
cleansing
basically they're using the energy from the animal, you
the
know what I'm
animal.
saying, to take on that negative energy. And the animal's always treated properly beforehand, and handled with care. But basically, yeah, you walked into her little their sacrifice.
Yo,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I don't
It's
know what to
intense.
do. Yo.
Yeah, it's intense. That's a first. Yeah, that's definitely an intense first experience.
I
Yeah.
was like,
That I mean that's but you can know that she felt like close enough and trusted you enough to have you present because that's not
right,
usually something that everybody gets to witness.
Yeah, you wouldn't
right.
take just anybody to that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, we were really close. We were really close for like at least 10 years. So like when
Dito.
she took me to that, I was like, what's going
she was
on?
comfortable. She was real comfortable. She
She
said
was real
chicken slide and
comfortable.
all that.
Yeah, that's
Stressed out.
usually like usually when there's like some sort of like a sacrifice, it's kind of like a life for exchange of your life.
Oh,
Yeah. And that could usually come because there's some sort of like maybe warning. It could have been like health, it could have been, it could have been different things, but basically to, cleanse her, to remove it. That's why the wings flapping, stuff like that. There's a lot more to it. Um but yeah, pretty much. That's
I was fucked up. I was scarred, but I'm okay now. I'm
yeah,
okay.
you're good. You're
Like,
good. I was surprised because in Puerto Rico they be over there like ripping the heads off and taking the
but see,
feathers and
like I didn't. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I didn't really. I wasn't
get
raised
to
out there.
right. You
I
didn't
was
get to
raised over here, like since I was really young. I did live in Puerto Rico for a time period in my life, but I was in my 20s, and I only
right,
like stayed like a year and a half. So I didn't really see any of that. Like, don't
right.
the furthest I seen was somebody calling me outside the bar to kill a pig, and I almost had a heart attack. Why'd you
Oh,
call me here for this? Like, I'm talking about the bars here, and here's the driveway. Hey, ven acá, para que vea esto. What? And then they're smacking it. Like, yo, I was scared.
oh.
Listen. And then they made it into lechon. And I'm like, I gotta go home. I don't even
Did you
want to eat.
eat? I'm like, did you
No, I
eat?
didn't eat. I didn't. I went
Ese
home.
pobre
Oh.
lechón.
Like you can't do that in front of me. Like I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like you gotta prepare me for something like
Mm.
that. You can't just like I love animals, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's a little piggy pig, like it don't matter what it is. Like you gotta let me know before you do that.
yes. We
Crazy
got
work.
so we got some viewers in here. I want to go ahead and give a couple quick shout outs.
Oh,
Amanda's on here. Seraphina's on here. What up, you guys? Peace, love, and light to you as well. Monica's on here. Hello. Yeah,
I got the
welcome you
little
guys.
papers for the with the names. I got 3 papers with different names
Nice.
for the giveaway.
Yeah, we're doing the giveaway today. So, you guys make sure you stick around. We got about like 30 minutes left of the show. So, we're going to be doing a giveaway like at some point. V's going to be going ahead and putting some names in a hat. We're going to go ahead and draw a name and we're going to find out who our lucky winner is for the gift card of House of Spiritual Vibes. Botanica. That was donated by House of Spiritual Vibes Botanica. No, just kidding. The by the fine woman of House of Spiritual. Oh my god. Yeah, so you guys are going to get you guys are getting a prize today and I really want to thank you guys for following, for subscribing. Thank you guys so much. So we're going to be giving that away today too. Um yeah, so I feel like this is definitely a conversation that needed to happen. I love where we're going with this. Um if you guys have in the chat, if you guys have anything that you guys want to share, if you guys have questions for any of us in regards to this topic, definitely go ahead and drop it in the comment section. I will read that while we're on here live and we can answer you guys' question while we're here. Um so yeah, like also too, I wanted to bring up because at some point as the podcast goes on, we're gonna evolve, we're gonna have music, there's gonna be transition conversation. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and transition our conversation. I think this is a transition right here.
Ooh,
Transition.
okay. Okay. We got the whoosh.
That's the so Sis, you're in Chicago right now. How are things going over there, girl?
I mean, it's just daily life, the people I know and myself, like, we're good. Like, we're protected and everything. As far as the climate, it's one of fear. I will say that for our immigrant brothers and sisters out there. And Chicago is full of immigrants from Greek to Italian to Venezuelan to Mexican. So it's a city that is built on that diversity, and it's just sad to see. Personally, I haven't seen anybody, near my area, but it's basically kind of a daily thing. People being on alert and understanding that, and just hearing the news, and just kind of being disheartened that, you know, I don't know how much you want us to say political,
No,
but
go ahead.
that's
Go ahead. No, this is the rowdy roster. We talking about
right,
everything,
right.
girl.
I want to get
We talking
no, but
about
like the
everything.
right, know that the present regime is how I'll refer to them, that they feel like they want to use cities like Chicago to train the military. Not National Guard, but to train the military. And there's actually laws that you can't use the United States military to train against its own
Against their own
people.
people. Yes.
Yeah, so we've
Yep.
always known that they're full of shit and they've always been like that. But now it's just that they're not even trying to like finesse it or hide it no more. And so it is kind of more of a climate that is fearful, more somber. Like when I pick my kids up from school, even there were people, agents around the area too. And the school, to see how the communities, get together, because that day when there were agents spotted and around the school, they did let out a notice and say, we're not gonna let the kids play outside. We're gonna keep them indoors right now, and when you pick them up and stuff. And so yeah, it's
And I
just
wonder I
trying.
wonder how they're explaining that to the kids. Like, do you know at
Yeah,
all? Like have you asked like how are you guys explaining this to them? Like what's
I
going on
mean,
and
I
what's
think
taking place?
the only thing that they're saying is that right now with the political climate, it's just not safe, and that they want us to have emergency plan in place. So they haven't like really shared more. As far as my kids, I've done my best to educate them kind of on what's happening, but yeah, it's definitely kind of hovering over, I think, everybody, and just regular citizens too, like people that have lived here all their life. It's like everything's very expensive now, and regular jobs like not, so everyone's definitely feeling it. And yeah, so that's all I could say about that. But
That's
it's
so
it's ugly.
disheartening. My heart
What
goes out to
happened?
you, your children. May you stay
No, thank
protected,
you.
because that's disheartening and it's sad. It's sad because the Hispanic culture, Latino culture, we made this motherfucker. Okay,
Hmm.
we made this motherfucker, and they so easily just throwing us to the wolves like this. This is ours. Y'all the one who need to leave if you think about it. Like, let's be
Yeah.
real. But like, of course, the powers that be, that's not the on the agenda, you know what I mean? And it's really disheartening to hear, to see how about like all those people that were sent to that fucking alligator Alcatraz that are now missing. Nobody has no
Yeah.
documentation. 1,800 people went there and 1,200 went missing. Where the fuck are these people? Don't
Right.
tell me that wasn't done
Yeah.
with intention. That was on purpose. And that is disheartening to hear. The farms out here where I live at, they're all not occupied. It's harvest season. It's September. It's time to pull all the shit that you planted back in April around my
Hmm.
birthday, and they don't have nobody to pick all those crops. And they did this shit to themselves because they knew who the hell is a harder worker than the immigrants? Nobody. You see somebody volunteering to go pick your fucking cabbage? I don't think so. And now they're asking for help, which is really kind of like you fuck around and you found out. Cause I see it all over TikTok. Now that the farmers are asking for help and shit. We told your stupid ass it was gonna happen this way. Stop sending them away like you gonna get in there and get your homies to do it. Cause they ain't gonna do it. The immigrants are the ones who do it. So why are you doing this? You could even like have a program to make them, I guess, work a certain amount of years for their for their citizenship, but you don't want to do that. You want to be an asshole and make them disappear for no reason. It's really disheartening.
Well, my thing is that like they shouldn't have to make them do anything because
Period.
technically, I mean, if we want to get technical, I mean, like this land only belongs to the original people that were already here.
Right.
And Mexico is attached to the US. If it's
Right.
attached to the US, it's a part of it. And they wanted to go ahead and set a barrier there. Why?
This
You
is all
know,
theirs. This is
yeah.
all theirs,
And
and the indigenous.
the thing is that I believe that Mexico holds a lot of power, a lot of there's a lot, there's portals, there's a lot of energy over there, there's a lot of spirituality, is very there's a lot that's over there that I feel like they fear to come over here, or they fear us like learning that, or there's something that's a lot bigger, because why are you going to cut out this area that's attached to this, like, you
Right.
know what I'm saying, like, and so far
Yeah.
it's been divide and conquer. So if there was no need for division, then why did y'all divide it? Because you
Right.
seen it as a threat, you see them as a threat, there's something that's over there that you don't want this to be
Right.
associated with because it's a threat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, sending all our people back over there, and not even just like, and like you said, V, like they're losing people. Like, how do you
Mhm.
lose these big of numbers of people? Like, that's, and the other thing is, like, I know that this is like, because I'm somebody, I love animals. And I think about all these people that are getting ripped out of their homes, that, like, it's like, how many of them probably had pets at home? How many of them could have had
Mhm.
children that they left at home to quick go and get their sister from school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people, and there's pets, and there's things that are being left at their homes while they're out here living life, and they haven't even had a chance to go ahead and make arrangements for their property, for
For
their
nothing.
children, for their
Nothing.
pets, they haven't even been able to make arrangements for any of those things. So what is that going to do? Now all of these shelters, these animal shelters, they're going to get overpopulated. Then they're going to have a problem because, oh, now we're putting these animals asleep and blah blah blah. Well, what about the lives that
Right.
we're taking care of these animals? Y'all want to pay attention to the animals. What about the people that these animals belong to?
And the
And
fact that before, when they talk about removing people that weren't here legally, that meant, okay, they send you back to your country. And yeah, it sucks, but you take your lumps, you could possibly come. Now,
right,
like, they're not really even sending people back. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm sorry if I'm saying too much, but they throwing people out of planes, in my opinion. They throwing them straight into the ocean. And
I
I
saw
think
that
they are
too.
just killing these people. They are kidnapping and murdering these people. So that's crazy that we just have to wake up and deal with that anybody has to deal with that. Um there's no sense to it. You can't make sense of it. It's just the cruelty is the point. It's supposed to be cruel. It's supposed to be unbearable. So keeping your mindset right in a time like this, when everything it feels like is fashioned specifically to break you down.
mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And like the other thing is that, um with our conversation that we had the other day, like, I don't understand how there are people of color turning on other people of color. Like, you think they're not coming for you next?
Right. And
You
that's
you
what
think they're not
boggles my
they
mind too.
lowering the numbers down so that they can come get you next? You're next.
Like, yeah, you see that a lot in the voting polls and all that. And it's like, again, like going back to the immigration, like Stephanie said, like they're throwing them out of planes and shit. How would you like if all these other, Caucasians get thrown out of a fucking plane? Like
Right.
nobody would like that. All of a sudden the army would be in every fucking state, would be on lockdown.
Yep.
All of a sudden, right?
Yep.
But if it happens to us of color, it doesn't matter. We gotta fight for papers for what? Just like you said. I mean, that's honestly a program that if they really wanted it like that, they should probably do it. But that's because of them. but this is your land.
Exactly.
Like, you built this
Exactly.
from the ground up, but they don't want to admit that. You know, they never will. They never will. At the end of the day, they never will. Crazy shit.
And it like a lot of our people of color deal with mental illness, deal with substance abuse, deal with alcoholism. You think that those that we just got that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, you provided us with the tools to kill ourselves, you
Yeah.
know. Like, because I mean, when you look in the like, and that even more so, pushing us out of neighborhoods that we used to be able to afford to live in. You're now
Mhm.
pushing us out. And like, so that's the thing, is that for surrounding areas, like, as people are coming out to these surrounding areas, a lot of them are bringing, those, they're bringing their hardships with them, whether it be their mentality of not knowing how to live amongst a different like community, something more slow, because they've grown up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They got hood mentality, but then
Mhm.
now they're in a suburb area, but still kind of operating off of the same mentality.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel that it's all been set up that way. Like, it's all been set up that way. We've been set up to look like we're criminals. We've been set up to look like, I mean, you make alcohol and drugs a problem. You think that, and how we deal with our emotions, and that we're not heard. You think that it's like, yeah, you guys are setting us up to look like a problem. You guys are giving us all the tools to make us look
Mhm.
like what you want us to look like.
Yeah. Like you say, just enough rope to hang yourself. That's what the
Exactly.
hell they set up. Yeah.
Exactly.
But like the saying says, if they come for us in the night, they'll come for you in the morning. So like you said, like nobody's safe, you know? White people think that they're safe, but if you're not rich,
They
if you're a
next.
white woman, if you're a gay white person, they'll still come for you too.
Mhm.
So
If
that's
they're
the
feeding you, if you're
caucasity.
on government assistance, if you're in housing, if you're
Mhm.
on food stamps, if you're on Medicaid, if your kids are on Medicaid, y'all are mouths to feed. You think they're gonna want to continue feeding y'all's mouths?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Especially when our people are not here to do the work anymore? No, they're gonna have to get rid of y'all too, because y'all are costing them just like we did.
And they already did.
Mhm.
They already put some things in place that everybody has, especially housing. Like for the housing market, you have like I think a year or two to get out. There's
Right.
Yeah.
now there's you know how people just wanted to live there forever.
Yeah.
You can't.
There's limits. Yeah.
People are also getting their food stamps cut off left and right. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok even crying because
Mhm.
they lost a way to feed their kids, which is sad. And at the same time, it's just a lot of rules and limitations are going into place that is going to affect everybody, whether you have colors or not, whether you look brown, white, blue, yellow, it don't matter. At the end
There
of the
was
day,
a
everybody's
woman,
going to get
yeah.
affected. If
Mhm.
you
And there
not
was a
rich, you going to get affected. Like,
exactly. There was a woman in court that was being sued because she had used her food stamps to purchase ingredients to make baked items to sell at a bake sale.
that's crazy work.
She got sued and she got in a lot of trouble because she used food stamp money to buy ingredients, still did the work of baking and her using her recipe and everything, and sold the baked items, and then she got sued because she used that money from her food stamps to make a profit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they
Hmm.
coming for everybody. It's not just us.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, for people that think that they're safe and, oh, this isn't going to affect them, and yeah, let's get them out of here because they're taking our jobs and blah blah blah, and they're doing this and doing that. Or I feel like Mexico needs to take all their shit. Like, okay, y'all don't want
Yeah,
us. We're taking
yeah.
we're taking our avocados. We're taking our motherfucking
Hmm.
mangoes, our tequila, our
Yeah.
tacos. We're taking all our shit back.
Hey, it's
And
their
then
time to
y'all,
shine now. Go to the
yeah,
farm and go pick those crops, bitch. It's your time
right.
to shine. Where you at? Where you at?
And
because
I had also
Yeah.
heard too that they were even kicking out white people from Mexico because
yes,
you
I
know
saw
they were
that too.
taking their money over there, buying cheap land, thinking they were gonna live the good life over there in
Hmm.
paradise with all our beautiful brown women.
Hmm.
And
Nope.
they like,
Get out.
no, get the fuck out.
Get out.
Yes.
I like the
So
Mexican president. She don't play. I like
she
her.
didn't play, girl.
She
I
don't
was
play.
like, yes. I was so excited for that. But man, like that's why too, because like anybody, like and that's the thing is that I hate when people like look at like a skin color and like, oh, you're okay, you look white. Like, no, I don't look white. Like how I've heard that. Like somebody told me, like, oh, you don't have to worry about it, Nina, you look white.
What?
Yeah,
Yo.
yeah,
Like they're not looking at last names. Like people told me that about my sons because I'm half Mexican. I came out white, and my son's father was Mexican, 100%. And but my kids came out real light skin, light hair, and people are like, "Oh, you don't have to worry about your sons." You don't think they'll go look down a list of names and they have a Hispanic last name? That's what they're
yeah.
doing.
That's what they're doing. That's what
Hmm.
they're
They hate
doing.
That's
And
crazy.
anything, any heritage connected to that. I'm telling you, something else.
right. Yeah, like I don't know. I just couldn't get that. I couldn't get that. Like I guess people are confused on what I am as far as culture or ethnicity, but yeah, I didn't take that as a compliment. That wasn't a compliment to me.
Hmm.
You was
Like
mad as hell.
that
You
was
was
not a
boiling
compliment to
like
me, and I'm no disrespect or anything. You know what I'm saying? But like like
They thought
because
they ate with that, and they did not eat with
girl, because we already get enough,
that.
you know what I'm saying? We get enough shit from like I get enough shit from like my own people because I don't speak enough Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like I get
Hmm.
enough shit and I try. You know what I'm saying? I'll try, but and like so yeah, I get it, but they're not like Stephanie said, they're not just going based off of what you look like. They're going based off of your last names. They're going based off of I mean, I know they're pulling taxes to look at who's illegal. So they're also tracking people
Hmm.
through their taxes. And those are taxpayers.
right.
Yeah.
Like they're
That's
they're
what's crazy to me. Like y'all pay taxes when y'all don't even have to pay taxes.
right.
Right.
Crazy to me. Like, and you
Crazy.
still want to kick it. Like, it boils my
Volunteer
blood.
to
Am I
go and pay
ready
the
yet?
motherfucking taxes. Like
It's crazy. They be wildin'.
they really do. Well, V, you got
Mm,
our names, girl?
yeah.
Yes? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Let's find out. Let's hold on,
I'm
wait, let
gonna
me
put them in
find.
my hat, and we're gonna do a little juggle,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, we're gonna do a little juggle. Do you got them
We
all
got.
in there?
There's three people in here.
All right, three
Serafina,
people. If anybody else is in here, if y'all are
Monica,
watching and y'all haven't said nothing, go ahead
sound
and
off.
drop a comment so that y'all can get in to our giveaway.
I
I'm
got
gonna go ahead and
Amanda in my hat. I got Serafina in my hat, and Monica.
nice. Okay. If anybody
Yay.
else is on here, you guys go ahead and drop a comment so we can quick get your name in this hat, and then V's gonna go ahead and pull our winner. I think we only have about 3 people, which is fine. Quality, not quantity. All
Bro,
right.
one of the names fell out the hat. Maybe that's the one.
Oh, hold on.
Let's see. Serafina. Serafina Marasolani.
Hey! Yes, girl. Yes.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yes.
Serafina, you
Yes.
the winner. Winner chicken dinner.
Hey, Serafina, I'll be getting in touch with you, girl. Let me know, or if you can comment, or I'm sure is that one of your
Yeah, she's
people's?
one of my people. I could get you in contact with her.
Cool, sounds good. That way I can go ahead and get her that gift card.
Okay.
That's fun. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yes.
Let's see. So, I mean, it's been a great show. Like this was we talked about two heavy topics, and like we gave guidance along with, sharing our own experiences. And I appreciate both of you being vulnerable, vulnerable here within the panel, but also to our for our viewers. I know that they really appreciate that, and it takes people to be open and transparent and authentic, and that's what makes this show like what it is that we're all on here sharing our experiences, and just talking about how we got through it. So I'm really glad that we were able to have two really hard discussions within this episode. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for joining me again
No
on the
problem.
Rowdy
And I wasn't
Roster.
even ready. This
Yeah.
was all impromptu.
Yes.
Same. Those are the best though.
I
Um,
loved it though, you know?
Yeah. And
Thank you
before
for
we
having
head
us.
out, I wanted to give Stephanie Gold, my god sister, I wanted to give her a chance to plug her work that she does. Like I said, she does do paranormal investigations for the Chicagoland area. Sis, how would I mean what exactly do you do when you do a paranormal investigation? How do you perform those? What are some of the things that our viewers could expect if they were to reach out to you and be like, "Look, Stephanie, I think that my house is haunted, girl."
Okay. Well, definitely, for sure, for sure. No, thank you for giving me the space. So if they want to reach out to me via Instagram, DM, or via phone, I'll give the information. But just let us know, what's going on in your situation, and we can schedule a time to come out. You might just need a consultation like via tarot or something like that. But if you do need a cleansing for your home, we could definitely set up over there, see what's going on. And the thing about it is, I don't like the term ghost hunting or ghost busting, because what we do as a spiritists, we elevate. We help the spirits elevate. So if you're being afflicted by any type of negative energy, I can do both. I can come in, I can use the equipment, see what's going on, and use the gift as an espiritista and help relieve you of that energy in your home or of your person, by doing a limpia, how we do with herbs and that type of thing. So, but it does start, it can also start if you're just trying to see what's going on with like a tarot consultation, which is, a little quicker and easier. You could do that over the phone or however, just to kind of see what's going on. So if anyone wants to schedule, a time to talk, they can reach out to me, either text 773-957-8486. Just shoot me a text. Let me know what you're trying to do. We can schedule a time to talk. And if not that, you can see me at Instagram at Tarot Life, TAROTLYFE. At Tarot Life. So just shoot me a DM and let me know your situation. We'll take it from there. But definitely our goal is to help, you elevate and the spirits elevate as well. So.
Yes. What so would somebody that is not within the Chicagoland area, would they still be able to book like to find out if they do have spirits in their home and how those spirits are affecting, and if they're able to, if there's something else that they're able to do where they're at? Is that also something that you offer?
Absolutely. So they would just need to get in contact with me and we could do a consultation and see what the situation was. And if need be, if I needed to visit where they were, then that can definitely be arranged. Or if it's something that can be taken care of, that I can kind of consult them and help lead them and guide them, that they can help them, on their own, we can do that as well. And if it's something that's a little higher than my pay grade, I have people also that I can refer them to as well. So definitely here, whatever the situation might be.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, sis, for
Thank
giving us
you.
that information, for sharing that with us. Thank you for the work that you do.
That's dope.
V,
Thank you.
thank you for the work
But
that you do as well.
yes, for
And thank
sure.
you guys so much for joining me again on another Rowdy Roster podcast. Again, this is season 1, episode 3. Thank you guys so much for viewing. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. And I will let you guys go, and we'll see you guys at the next Rowdy Roster. Divine blessings to today, tomorrow, and always. Ache. Bye,
That's
you guys.
bye.